Hello, Jesse Good here, and you guys seem to really enjoy that LEGO Ideas video I did, so I think I'm bringing back this old format of just recording computer screen and just talking and giving my thoughts unscripted. So this is a very interesting survey that was conducted by Brickset, I guess more specifically a poll, and that's what license themes should LEGO produce next. And they also asked the question, which license theme should return? So I want to kind of look at these results because these are very interesting results. They just conducted this while we're all at home, and it gives us kind of an insight into what most AFOLs want as a LEGO theme for a license that exists and what most AFOLs want to return as a LEGO theme for a license that existed. Now, they had about 14,000 votes. I don't know if I personally voted in this. I think I was about to, and I don't know if I did. I just saw it somewhere. I was like, oh, I'm going to vote for that later, and then I missed it. So let's get into this and kind of analyze these results and see if I think these could become potential themes, if these themes could return or whatnot. So very happy to see that number one was The Legend of Zelda at 14%. That was the most wanted LEGO theme. I'm all on board for that. You guys know. Been wanting Lego Nintendo my whole life. We got Lego Mario, perfect for Lego Zelda. The demand for Zelda is there. There's ideas projects. I think that they will produce a Lego idea set if you want to see that whole long video of which ones I think would pass. So I think that's a great thing to see that I'm not alone on wanting Legend of Zelda, but I already knew this. I knew that it was very demanded. Did I think it would get number one on a Brickset poll? No, but that's awesome to see. And again, Brickset, or I'm not sure if I said in this recording, but Brickset is the third largest LEGO site. Lego.com's number one, Bricklink's number two. And Bricklink forums isn't the reason why Bricklink is popular. It's because of Bricklink Marketplace. So Brickset doing a poll like this is just a fantastic idea because they could get such a big survey of AFOLs. And Brickset itself is popular all around the world and more popular, I guess, with AFOLs, 18 plus and stuff like that. So we're going to see really what the adults want, and I'm glad to see that Zelda is still wanted by adults, but that makes sense because people who grew up with Zelda are now adults, and playing video games doesn't have that stigma anymore of, oh, that's just a childish, nerdy, whatever thing. It's beloved by everybody, so I'm so glad Zelda's up there. One thing though is the choices for what they've surveyed specifically seem kind of random. I don't know how they came up with what licenses or whatever, because I would have put Animal Crossing surveyed on here. I would have put like Star Fox 2 over some of these other ones, but let's go deeper. So anyways, number two, Star Trek. This shocked me because I thought that Star Trek fans were very conflicted at this moment. I thought the older Star Trek fans were against the newer Star Trek stuff with the J.J. Abrams movies and the Picard series and stuff like that, and that other Star Trek show. I always got that from the Star Trek community, but I didn't delve too much into it. My knowledge on that is just from, what I've seen online without going into these subreddits and what I've seen on Red Letter Media. So to see that Star Trek fans still love the franchise and they want to see Star Trek Lego kind of surprised me. But it's something that I think Lego can do, and I think somebody should just put the USS Enterprise on ideas. It probably already is. And I think they can make it. Megalox had the license a few years ago, but I don't think they have the license anymore. So to see Star Trek get number two did surprise me. I thought it would be some of these other ones, but hey, pretty cool. Transformers is number three, and this one, I guess, is a nostalgia one because I don't know if a lot of Transformers fans keep up with it nowadays. But again, another one that surprised me because it makes sense to have Transformers Lego, right? But it sucks because it's owned by Hasbro, and Hasbro is Lego's biggest competitor with Mattel. So they can't really do Lego Transformers. But if these two companies just put their differences aside for a one-off thing, just a brick-built Optimus Prime, I think it would be like achieving world peace. Okay, maybe not that important, but it's like, them putting down their rivalries for just 1 second to get the fans together, that would be so cool. So yeah, I would like to see Lego Transformers as well. Lego Pokemon, this is one where I thought would be higher on the list because I know Pokemon is beloved by all, all old, young. So especially after Pokemon Go, so I was kind of surprised to see this as number four, but that's one that Lego can't do because it's owned by Mega Bloks. Well, not owned by Mega Bloks, but Mega Bloks has a license currently. Big shame, but I think once we see how well Mario sells in the inevitable Zelda set, there'll be some renegotiations, and we'll get Lego Pokemon eventually. I don't think it's something that we'll never get. Like Transformers, I feel has such a slight like a 1% chance. Pokemon, there's a much higher chance there because Pokemon itself, I think, is one of the biggest, if not the biggest media franchises out there, with likes of Mickey Mouse, Mario, SpongeBob, and those are all things that Lego has done before. So Pokemon's just that one that is missing. It would be a dream come true for me. I always say the 3 that I wanted was Simpsons, Toy Story, and Nintendo. We got Mario. I need those Mario minifigures. And whenever I say Nintendo, I count Pokemon. I know Pokemon's second party, but that's what I mean. So I hope we do get Pokemon in the future. How to Train Your Dragon. This was another surprising one at number 5 because I didn't know there was such a demand from adults. I love How to Train Your Dragon. I'm glad adults like it, but I think about it, I'm like, yeah, my mom loves How to Train Your Dragon, and it's one that Lego should have done because, man, we just got the Troll sets, which was their first partnership with DreamWorks, and but I don't think they could do it anymore because it's How to Train Your Dragon has ended. The movies came to a conclusion, it seems. Who knows what the future will hold? The shows came to a conclusion, so I don't know if they will do it, but I think a one-off ideas of like a hiccup has a possibility. So somebody get on that. I know another company had the license. I'm not sure if they still have the license though, so who knows. And that was what I was kind of saying, where it was just like, I don't know where they got the licenses to put on this poll, because like if How to Train Your Dragon is there, I don't know why Shrek isn't there. I think Shrek is DreamWorks' most popular property, even more so than How to Train Your Dragon. So I would have thought you would have put that there, because it's not like How to Train Your Dragon is still going on. You could put Shrek. Shrek's not still going on. Even though, heck, that has more of a chance of returning because Shrek 5 is apparently coming out in a few years. And Shrek's beloved by adults too, so I think they should put that on the poll. Next, another shocker, Futurama. I mean, in my ideas video, I was putting a lot of bold claims out there that some of these properties aren't relevant to the pop culture zeitgeist, the current pop culture world. And I said Futurama was one of those. Well, it seems like Futurama is still popular. I don't know what streaming service they have it on, personally. I don't know how people can watch old Futurama episodes. I'm sure Comedy Central still probably shows it. I don't even think Adult Swim shows it anymore. So I'm glad to see it because I do like Futurama. I like the characters of Futurama. I would love a Planet Express kind of, the whole building and everything. It's been pitched before. I still don't think it will be a Lego Ideas because it is more adult. But if they already said it was okay to be on Lego Ideas, who knows? And then this was an interesting one too. I think this was kind of one you probably shouldn't have put on here, which is Studio Ghibli. I love Studio Ghibli, okay? And recently I actually got into it because I was prepping for Japan, It's such an important part to Japan pop culture, and so I was watching a lot of these for the first time, and my favorite was Spirited Away, even though I did see a lot when I was younger. So to have this up here, the problem I have with it is because it's a blanket. Studio Ghibli is a studio. Like, that's not really a specific franchise, so I think that's too broad. I don't know if they would just give the license to Studio Ghibli, but I don't know. I remember in Japan I saw that there was a Studio Ghibli collection, so who knows? Maybe that is a license. They bundle it all together. Maybe it's just separate stuff. And I think a buildable Totoro would be like probably the most likely thing they do, so who knows? Asterix. So this was another one that was really kind of shocking to me. I guess I said that with a lot of these, but Asterix is, if you don't know, it's not super popular in America, but it's really popular in Europe. It was like a comic strip, and they've had cartoons, Asterix and Obelix. And I think this is one that's more nostalgic than, say, I don't know. I know there was like some CGI movies recently, so I think people want this out of nostalgia. But again, that's still a good reason to make it. So I don't know too much about the property to really give a specific thing I want from it, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't be opposed to really any of these. I like licensed themes, so I like all of these. But the one I want the most, of course, is Zelda and Pokemon. So next up is Gravity Falls, and again, kind of an odd choice because I feel like the show's ended. You just picked a random Disney show, but then again, is it a random Disney show? Because Gravity Falls is still so popular and it's a great show. So maybe this is something that I keep seeing, Gravity Falls stuff on my subreddit. I keep seeing it on ideas. Maybe the demand really is there, even though the show is ended. I think a lot of people are discovering it. It's almost like Avatar in that respect, where a lot of people are discovering it again, or they're reliving it, or they're, finding it out for the first time. I think it's on Disney Plus, maybe. I hope it's on Disney Plus. So this could be something that is a good idea to make. And then Chronicles of Narnia. This one, this one I wouldn't have put on the list because I don't even know if any studio owns the rights to the movies anymore, and Lego just wouldn't make sets based off a book, right? I mean, I'm trying to think of any time they've ever made sets based off of a book. I'm not saying movies that tie in with books, because Harry Potter, those are based off the movie. They're not based off the books. Lord of the Rings is based off the movie, not the books. So I don't think they would even be able to do that, because there's just like the Chronicles of Narnia's movies. I think they were owned by Disney, and then they went to like MGM or something. So I have no clue. But that tied with Gravity Falls for 4%, and a whole bunch of others did with World of Warcraft. That one was a good choice, I think, for the poll, because they just did Overwatch. And I thought the demand for that would be a little bit higher, but I guess maybe it's just one that isn't as popular as it used to be. Thunderbirds is on there, which this is another one that is a European license, and you might not be familiar with. And it has a very iconic like marionette style and everything. And they almost made a Lego Dimensions set of this, funny enough. And I'm going to be using a lot of artwork from Ash and Flash, which, of course, he's helped with the CMF drafts. He's done the artwork for the CMF drafts and this canceled video. So go check out Ash and Flash if you love the artwork, and check out our CMF drafts if you want to see more of that. But yeah, so Thunderbirds is one that Lego considered at one point, but just never got released. And again, lots of these are primed for one-off Lego ideas, because I know, like, I think there's like a main ship in Thunderbirds or something like that. The Adventures of Tintin. The Adventures of Tintin. Another one considered for Lego ideas. And it's one that is more popular in Europe, but we had that movie, I wish I could say recently, but it's been so long. It's almost been 10 years since that movie. And we were supposed to get a sequel, so who knows. But so that came in with 4%. Godzilla came in with 4%. Godzilla, again, is one where you could have one off. Lego technically did it, right? Because they had a Godzilla in Lego Batman movie, if I'm not mistaken. I know they had King Kong. And also Godzilla was considered for Dimensions. So another one that was considered for Dimensions. And then the last one was Discworld, which has the lowest votes, and it's the only one on this list I did not know what it was. I searched it up, and apparently it's like a comic series or a media franchise based on a comic series. Not really familiar with it, so yeah, I can see why I came in at last. But really, if you look at this list, I think the most telling stuff are, like, say, the top 5 or top 3. Legend of Zelda has demand, and I hope Lego sees this and really considers this when they're reviewing those Lego idea sets, and if not, do their own line. Now, when it comes to fantasy licenses, I think Lego will probably be using Lord of the Rings as an example and apply that to Zelda. So here's what I heard about Lord of the Rings. Take this as you may. I have connections in Lego shops or whatever, but that's about as much as I could get, okay? So I heard the sales were good for what they were, but really what happened was a lot of adults wanted it and not a lot of kids wanted it. And because of that, Lego wasn't really as much onto we gotta make these sets specifically for adults as they are. This is like a really recent thing that Lego has been doing with basically just this year, the evolution of D2Cs to 18 plus sets and everything. And I think that kind of hurt the Lord of the Rings line, because Lord of the Rings, they were trying to make not only pleased for adults, but for kids. And this is why you would start seeing random stuff like weird play features, and maybe have an approach that's more cheaper sets, more simple sets. And I think if they brought back Lord of the Rings today, they would have to go with a more complex look at it, aim it more towards an older demographic. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. I just wanted to apply that to Legend of Zelda. So because of that, I think they're going to be hesitant with Legend of Zelda. They won't go like a full line. I think they would probably test the waters first, maybe do an idea set, a direct-to-consumer set, who knows, and see how that is received. And inevitably, that's going to sell like hotcakes. It's going to sell out, and we will get a full line. It will probably be like Minecraft in that regard. But I think Lego is still very hesitant with these fantasy era, or not fantasy, or what am I saying? Not historical. What the heck am I saying? Lego is very hesitant with fantasy themes that are licensed because of what happened with Lord of the Rings, which I think was kind of their fault. I think they were trying to target too much of that younger demographic when they should have just aimed it more towards older. And I think Zelda is something that's more popular with an older demographic than a younger demographic, so they're going to have to do that if they make Zelda sets and make just a little bit 12 plus, 14 plus sets and everything. And if you're going to do a full wave, I think that would be less likely, but I would love to see that. I'm not opposed to that at all. I'm just saying Lego would be a little bit hesitant about it. So next up is what licensed team should return, and Lord of the Rings got the vote there. I think we got enough from the Lord of the Rings wave back in the day that I was satisfied and I loved it, but there was still a lot of stuff missing, like Minas Tirith. So it shows that the demand is still there, and a lot of people missed out on those Lord of the Rings sets, and they're so expensive now. I saw Lord of the Rings again last year, and I was like, oh, I love this series. And then I was going to do a CMF draft with Ashton, but we never came to it. So now I got to rewatch them to have my memory right off of what Lego things I want from there. But there is so much potential for the return of Lord of the Rings, so I'm so glad that this got the top place. Number 2 was Indiana Jones, and this is one that I think will return, whenever the heck Indiana Jones 5 comes out. So that makes sense. The demand is there, but people missed out on it, and it's kind of like Lord of the Rings. Simpsons was number 3, and Simpsons, I'm so glad to see, is number 3, tied with Doctor Who, because I thought a lot of people didn't like Lego Simpsons because of the molded heads, but no, it seems like people still love Lego Simpsons. That is one. Lord of the Rings, yeah, it missed out on a lot, I'm going to throw in that they had Dimension sets in 2015, but that's not relevant. Indiana Jones, yeah, we missed out on a lot of scenes too. But Simpsons, sure, we got a lot of the main characters, but we only got 2 sets. We only got 2 buildings. Like, there's so much they did not do, and it seemed for a second we were going to get 1 a year, and then they just stopped. However, I'm glad that people want to see it return, and I think we have now more than ever a chance for it returning, because yes, Lego is doing 18 plus sets, but I don't even think you need to make these 18 plus. More importantly, Disney owns Simpsons now. Disney likes money. Disney likes merchandising, so Disney is going to merchandise the crap out of the Simpsons soon enough. Rumor has it we're going to get a Simpsons movie too, which I don't even know. Is that going to be like a Disney animated movie? I have no clue. But there's a lot of potential there, and I think I'm getting hopeful, We did get the Brickheads recently too. But anyways, Doctor Who was number 4. Again, technically number 3, tied with The Simpsons. That was one where you could say it was underdeserved too. I don't watch too much Doctor Who, but I guess you could even say it was more represented than The Simpsons, because what did we get? We got it was like 2 ideas packs and 2 dimensions packs and an idea set. So there's a lot you could do there, but I don't think Doctor Who has as much iconic locations as, say, The Simpsons does. But still, I think all these should come back. With Pirates of the Caribbean being number 5 on the list, but number 4, and that's tied with Back to the Future. Pirates of the Caribbean, I see the popularity rising. In terms of the Lego demand, because Ryan's starting to get them now. And I started rewatching them, so yeah. Personally, I should say. I shouldn't use that as a broad statement of the popularity of it, because there is no Pirates of the Caribbean movie out right now. So when there's not a movie out for that property, usually the property wanes in popularity. So I think they're rebooting the franchise or something, so that's going to be a little bit tricky, because I don't know if they reboot it, Disney would still want to use Jack Sparrow as a character, because I think they don't want to use Jack Sparrow anymore. And because of that, you can't really do sets based off of these older movies. I would love to see another Black Pearl. I would love to see more of these ships and everything, because I missed out on them. And there's a lot of great location-based sets. And Pirates of the Caribbean was on the same design level as current Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, where it was aimed towards, like I said, an older demographic. But I still think they had the shortcomings of trying to please everybody and making it some simpler stuff for the younger audience. And Back to the Future being there, another one that was very underrepresented, because we only got an idea set and then some dimensions packs. I would love to see like the whole clock tower setup and everything. The train is another great idea, and those are movies I would love. Avatar: The Last Airbender is at 5%. I thought that would be a little bit higher, but I'm glad the demand is there. What really shocked me is some of the bottom ones when we talk about that, but we'll get to that in a bit. James Bond is number 4, and James Bond, it's weird for them saying which should return, because like we just got a set for that, last year was it, or 2 years ago? But again, it's one that Lego never, I don't think it will. Like, it was definitely a content thing that they didn't include a James Bond figure or anything like that. And if they're not going to do a James Bond figure in the UCS set or whatever you want to call it, they're not going to do James Bond minifigure sets. So I think what they did, which was the Aston Martin, that's about it. Like, there's not if they can't do minifigure sets, what else can they do? So I think that's a tricky one. Sports, 3%. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought to put that on here, but that was a good choice by Brickset. NFL, FIFA, etc. So, I mean, I would like to see sports return. Like I said, I would like to see all these return. And then tied for last, this is what shocked me. This is what hurt me. Sonic the Hedgehog and SpongeBob. I guess it really is people like teens and younger kids who want these, and then maybe people in the 20s like me. But yeah, I thought the demand would be there more for adults, but it doesn't seem like it. Maybe I overestimated it. Maybe the Krusty Krab won't happen for Lego Ideas. So that's kind of a shame. And also tied with Tron, which that's sad to hear that Tron tied with them. No offense to Tron, but like Tron is so much less relevant in pop culture today than Sonic the Hedgehog and SpongeBob. But dang, are those less relevant than I thought? Who knows? I guess this says a lot about my ideas video, huh? But anyway, so it seems like so it does seem like technically these were tied, yes, but the Simpsons did have more votes technically. So that okay. That does make me feel a little bit a little bit better. So that was technically number 3, because I just put this as a blanket statement of 7-7. But yeah, technically they did have specific votes. So I'm glad that the third most wanted license to return is Simpsons. I'm glad Lord of the Rings has a demand there, because we need that demand from the fans to get these themes back. Something like Indiana Jones, we don't need the demand to get the theme back, because it's inevitably going to be back in 2022 because the movie's coming out. But I think that's the only one you could really say that with. I don't think we're guaranteed Pirates of the Caribbean sets when the next movie comes out, because the last movie only got 1 set. And I don't even know if that set sold too well. So who knows? And yeah, so anyways, what do you guys think of these results? Am I over analyzing these, or am I under analyzing these? Do these mean nothing? Which ones would you have voted for? That's what I also want to hear as well. So let me know which ones you want to see produced next, and which one you want to see return. Leave your thoughts in comments below, and check out that Brickset article. Check out Ash and Flash. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.